Hey, welcome to video training 1 of 5 on how to lose the belly. So today we're going to talk about the number one mistake that most people make by going to the gym and what you can do instead. So if you're catching this live, because this is live streamed, what I want you to do is just comment live down below. And if you're catching this at a later time, comment replay down below. That way I know when this reached you. Now, I don't want you to just listen to this because it'll go in one ear and out the other. What I want you to do is be an active participant in your own learning. Comment down below what your biggest takeaway was from today's training. That way you'll be 80% more likely to actually implement on the ideas that you do learn today. So that's it. Kick back, relax, and the training will begin shortly. Hey, welcome to video training 1 of 5 on how to lose the belly. So today we're going to talk about the number one mistake.
Hey everyone, welcome to video training number 1 on how to lose the belly. So this is part 1 of 5, and today we are going to be talking about the common mistake number 1 of going to the gym and what you need to do instead. So let's get this started. Just let me know in the comments down below if you're tuning in live, because I am doing this live on Facebook, or if you're catching this at a later time. Just comment replay. That way I know when this reached you. So let's get started. We've all heard of this before, where abs are made in the kitchen, right? And I want to share with you why there's truth in that cliche. The reason why is because you already have abs. You already have a flat stomach. It just gets covered by layers of fat, right? And I really want to share with you why going to the gym is actually holding you back from getting back into your body that you once had. So 3 things that are holding you back at the gym. And they all fall within the realm of equipment. So I made this acronym for you here, RIM. And let's start started with the first R, which is running. So I want you to think about this. When you're walking in nature, or even when you're running and jogging, you're moving and the ground isn't. But like when you're at the gym, it's the opposite, right? The ground is moving underneath you, and so are you. And what ends up happening is that misaligns your kinetic chain, which is simply your joint and spine systems. And as you can see in this diagram, everything begins with your ankles. So whatever starts at the ankles trickles up to the knee, trickles up to the hips, all the way up to the kinetic chain leading up to your spine. And what ultimately ends up happening is you get aches and pains and injuries. So that's running. Next is iron. And another way to look at iron is just the weights, and to look at it like the barbells and the free weights. And the reason why iron is holding you back at the gym is because it's very likely that if you haven't been active for some time, that you don't have the greatest mobility. And when you bring yourself to the gym without a great foundation of mobility, of flexibility, you're setting yourself up for an injury. So many people, because we're sitting all the time, have shoulder impingements. And when you're going to the gym and you're using free weights, you're only going to exacerbate that problem. And then lastly is the machines at the gym. And here's why. You got to think about something. The machines are not natural. They're designed for bodybuilders that take an unnatural amount of supplements to be able to recover from that stimulus that's being placed on their body. The amount of stimulus that you can place on your body from a machine is very unnatural. And what ends up happening very quickly is you hit overtraining syndrome. And the problem with that, among the many outcomes and side effects of overtraining syndrome, is you really begin to break your body down. So here are some of the side effects of overtraining syndrome. So especially now during this time of COVID, you want to stay safe and you want to keep your mental health in check. And one of the worst things that you can do is go to the gym, put an unnatural amount of stress and stimulus on your body, and then fall into overtraining syndrome. And now you'll be even more susceptible to colds, to illnesses, and depression, lack of motivation, disturbances in mood really will take a toll on your mental health. So here's an idea that I want you to consider. You have more muscle on your body than I do. And here's why. I'm going to prove it to you. So when I was a trainer back at Equinox, we would do these assessments, and I'm sure that some of you even have a scale that shows you some of these numbers. So what we have here is a gentleman who weighs 221.5 pounds. And now what I want to point out to you, other than, he weighs 221.5, height, we're not going to consider that. What I want to point out to you is his total lean body mass, which is comprised of his total body water and skeletal muscle mass. And really what this is the amount of muscle that this person has on their body. They have 162 pounds of muscle on their body. So just to give you some context, I'm currently 175 and I have 158 pounds of muscle on my body. So this person has more muscle on their body, but what they also have is more fat on their body, 59.3. They have more fat on their body. I have 10% body fat. I have around 17 pounds of fat on my body. This person has 59 pounds. So theoretically, if they just lost the fat and kept the muscle, they would look better than I do, right? And by the way, for the average adult healthy male, you want to be around 20 pounds of fat in terms of just being healthy, right? And that's not societal standards. That's just from a health standpoint. So the question becomes, how do you maintain the maximum amount of muscle while only dropping fat? And it goes right back to the first picture that I showed, which is, it is that simple. You need to focus on removing your fat because you don't have a muscle problem, you have a fat problem, right? So you need to skip the gym and focus on two main areas. So there are two steps for muscle maintenance. One is your nutrition and two is your exercise. Now, with your nutrition, it's really simple. You want to have your carbs, you want to have your fats, and you want to have your proteins. And you just want to make sure that your protein intake is just a little bit higher than the average person. And the reason for that is because the more protein that you eat, the easier it will be for your body to maintain that muscle. And then the second part of it is you need to find an exercise that matches that goal as well. And one of the best exercises that you can do is something that helps regulate your hormones to produce more testosterone and to produce more human growth hormone, which is the fountain of youth hormone in all human beings. And the only exercise that really does that is high intensity, fast hit training. And the reason why is because you increase your testosterone, you increase your human growth hormone, so you're able to maintain the maximum amount of muscle while only targeting belly fat. So that's it. This is the first mistake that is really common that most people make, which is going to the gym. And what they need to do instead is skip the gym because it's only going to be a recipe of wasting time, disaster, and overtraining syndrome and injury. So you need to skip the gym and attack your weight loss with fast hit training while maintaining your muscle so you can get back into the body you already have. Because again, you already have a flat stomach. You already have abs. They just get covered by layers of fat. So that's it. That is all. Thank you all for tuning in today. Let me know in the comments down below what was the biggest takeaway for you. Again, if you write down what you took away, you'll be 80% more likely to actually implement on the ideas that I shared with you today. So again, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions and I'd be more than happy to answer them in my next video. By the way, this is not an advertisement for The Mandalorian, but if you haven't seen it, Disney Plus, great show, highly recommend it. Thanks for tuning in with me today. I will see you all tomorrow for part 2, where we will be talking about cardio. So again, thanks for joining, and I will see you then.